Hey there, Kelly.
Hi,
How are
how
you?
are you? I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Good. Is it snowing over in your area of the country like it is here?
Yes, it's beautiful. We finally got some. It's like 4 inches last night, and we're scheduled to get 2 more days of it, which is more than we had all last winter. So yay!
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome. We are, I think we're slated about to get the same. So it just keeps been dumping all day, all day.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
very good. Hi there, Bill. How are you? I don't know if you.
There she
Are you
is.
on? Did you say hi, Bill?
Yes. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Elisa. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Sit down over there, Bill.
Yep, I'll sit down over here. We get straight.
We're hey Kim,
Hi,
how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good,
How are you?
good. We were just talking about all the snow we're getting here.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Send it our way.
And that's
Yeah.
not common there,
Huh?
right? It's not common, really. Or is it?
Well, I mean, it snows down here in the valley, but more of it, of course, is up in the mountains. I mean, we just got back to this area. So I I think compared to Bend, it's way less snow than what we used to get in Bend all the time.
Wow.
So
Oh, they got those
Yeah.
white lines I like.
It's cold here. I'm a desert rat though, so it's like 50 degrees today and I'm freezing to death. So
yeah, I am the same. I always like warmth, but I have to sleep with my window open.
Of course, with
Yeah.
blankets piled.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So I think there's going to be hopefully several other people that will be jumping on here in the next few minutes. So, and if you guys have questions, any questions, please, we can start sending them through comments, and I'll try to answer them as we go along with everything. So, if you think of something,
MOS choir, you commented.
you what? What'd you say,
Oh,
Kathy?
I belong to an online choir, and the only way you could say something, everybody had to be muted. The
Mhm.
microphones were all muted. You wanted to ask something, you had to type it out.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah. And
I'm
you
used
know,
to that.
there might be, depending on how it goes and everything and the ease of it, people can definitely ask questions instead of just typing it in the comments, but it'll just depend probably on how it goes.
And how many people
would
are here.
Yeah, I would
Whether or not we get
suspect.
feedback.
Oh, whether
Yeah.
we get feedback.
Sometimes if there are too many people with their mics on, it starts to feedback, and so people need to mute.
Oh, sure. Yeah. But there were about 20 people who said they were interested. So, well, in the next several minutes, I suspect they'll be rounding up. But I'm going to grab some water really quick, make sure I'm all filled up, and I will be right back. Okay.
Okay. I think I'm just gonna take-
Yep. Here, let's.
No, she's blanked in a bill. Just move. You're wasting my time.
Hi, Madeline. Hi there, Valerie.
Hi,
How are you?
Good.
I'm doing great. Did you have a good Christmas?
Yes, actually, it was super low key, and like we sat in our pajamas all day on Christmas Day. I mean, I showered, but then I went back to my pajamas, and we told all of our family just to come over in their pajamas.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, it was
Relaxing.
awesome. It was awesome. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, we pretty much took it easy, and I decided to cook Mexican food for Christmas. So we had like 7 different types of Mexican food. We just pigged out because I'm not supposed to eat that stuff, my diet. And I thought, you know what, Christmas present to myself. Going for it. So,
I love it.
my-
That's awesome. Good for you. Good for you. Anyone else have any interesting either family stories or other holiday stories?
And out of the ordinary.
Yeah. Just the typical.
That's what I wanted to do, was a Mexican feast, but
We
ended
had,
up doing, yeah. I made my kids dinner 2 days before Christmas because they are always running all over the planet to do other things. And they went out to lunch Mexican food with their boss that day. So then I had to reroute the whole thing. Made Chinese food. So
oh, we had pictures done, and of course, a rush to get them here in time for the parents. Really, is who we were giving pictures to. And somehow I ordered it from Shutterfly, and I must not have ordered from them since 2014 because it went to my brother's address where he lived in 2014. And so we had to track the people down. It was crazy, but we ended up finding them on Christmas Eve of all days. So it was very interesting.
that is a fun, interesting story. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. so-
Lisa, have any of your kids graduate? Has your oldest daughter graduated yet?
No, she's a junior this year.
Junior, okay, got it.
Yes, to still have a year and a half left. Don't
Yeah.
age me too much. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and get started. I think we'll probably have some people that will end up trickling in here in the next few minutes. I'm recording this just to let you guys know. If you don't want your face seen, please feel free to keep the video off if you want to, or change your name or whatever. But I figured that the video itself, I can actually use, other people can watch it for a demonstration as well for the people who didn't make it here today. So welcome. I know several of you know what this device is. You've either seen it in use or you have one yourself. Kim, you have a device. I have used the device with Valerie and Madeline, so you guys have both kind of seen, had a little demonstration as well.
Got one
In fact,
ordered.
I'm sorry.
I said I've got one ordered. It should be here tomorrow. I'm really excited.
Awesome.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you have a Healy device as well, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I honestly I've never seen a Healy device, but I've heard about it. I would love to know the difference when you get this device and really compare more what
Okay.
you find with it. Because I think that's pretty important. I've heard really great things about the Healy. So I think this, from my understanding or from what people have told me, I think this does more than that does. But yeah, let me know for sure.
I will. I definitely will.
Okay, so does anyone does anyone not know how it works exactly? And would you like me to explain? Okay, Kathy.
Please do.
Awesome.
Please start at the beginning for us because we do
Absolutely.
not know what they are or what they do.
Okay, absolutely. You all know that we have, I'm actually going to share my screen here really quick. So I'm just going to show you a couple of pictures that might just help make more sense. There we go. Okay. So this, if we could see the energy fields around our body, this is essentially what we would see. Okay. You've seen something like this, right, Kathy and Bill?
Yes.
Okay. So and if you were to look at us in numbers, numbers is actually what we call the universal God language, source language, whatever word you want to use there. But if you were to look at us in numbers, you literally would see it like you see it in the matrix, how it's coming down. We are a series of numbers just like that. And those numbers correspond to certain frequencies essentially in our body. Okay. When those frequencies are blocked, if you can imagine a string of electricity and something cuts it off or doesn't let the conduction go through, we would call that a blocked energy flow. Okay, there's different types of energy flows in our body. One is meridians. That's how acupuncture works. There's different energy flows, and they use the actual meridians in our body, and they help to open those flows when there's disease present. And that's what we see when we have blockages in those frequencies, or they're not able to get to us in the right way, or the frequency changes
Don't ever wear.
for whatever reason. Basically we can get sick. Okay, so does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes. Okay, so basically this device, what it does is it scans 120,000 different frequencies in our body that someone has gone in and has figured out corresponds. If we're out of balance with that frequency, we often will see illness present, or it could potentially lead to illness. Not that we necessarily have illness now just because that's out of frequency, but it could lead to that. Does that make sense? So we don't always have to be sick if something is wrong, but most definitely it could lead to that. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So what this device does, that scans those frequencies. It's kind of like a pendulum. You know, we're in balance. We're kind of swinging, going both directions, and it's finding the frequencies that are out of balance or might be blocked. It actually looks at your meridians. It looks at your chakras. Looks at a whole bunch of different things, and then it helps to play certain tones that we can hear, music, or frequencies or vibrations, because a vibration also has a lot of impact on our bodies. Those can actually help reset or open up those energy blockages and can help put us back towards balance or harmony and get us out of disease. Okay, does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yes. Okay, cool.
So
Anyone,
it's
does
both
that?
diagnostic and therapeutic.
Say it again.
Yes.
I said, so this device is both diagnostic and therapeutic.
Yes, it very much is. Very much is. So probably the piece I love about this particular product more than any others is what we call the inner voice. Okay. So I'm using Madeline. She's going to be my model just to show you how I scan someone from a distance, or how you can scan someone from a distance. So essentially, this is a handheld device. It's just this small pocket phone device. Okay. There's also an iPad that you could purchase that has then I guess it's an app, is what you would call it, right, Kim? Would it be an app? Probably. Right. Okay. That they put on the device. You can take this really anywhere with you. But of course, I can be anywhere, and I can do a session with, you, Kathy, over in Illinois,
Nebraska.
Nebraska. That was close. I could do a session with you over there. Just because from an energy standpoint, and I know it's kind of confusing, but we're all literally interconnected still. So what happens in one area happens automatically in another area as well. So it doesn't matter distance with this, which is pretty cool. Okay, so let me pull up Madeline's information. So what we do is she would have her phone, and you basically can, I know there's, you don't need to see all the information, but you kind of can just see, you just have a basic picture. We have height, weight, date of birth, your essential information that makes you is put in there. And then you go to the inner voice itself. And essentially what Madeline would have the phone up to her, she'd have the phone up to her ear, or she'd have headphones in so she could feel the vibration of the sounds that were coming through. And I would basically be pushing this button, she would speak into it for 10 seconds. Okay. So I would put it up to my phone. She would speak for 10 seconds. That would go. And then basically we would have a report that, based off of the emotional inflections in her voice, would tell us what is happening right now in that moment with her emotionally. Is there an echo?
Yes.
There was.
Yeah, it started.
Can we have everyone turn off their sounds?
Mute.
Oh, the mics?
Yeah, turn off just mute your microphones. Maybe that will make a difference. Okay. That will make a difference. Okay. It's still echoing, huh?
Dr. Peavy, this is Marion. It might be Madeline's phone. She might have her phone active because you're going to work with her.
Oh, okay. You can turn the phone off. Is it on? Oh, there you go. Is that better?
Yeah. Okay. So I have my phone here. Are you?
You know what? I didn't have you speak, but I have an inner voice report to pull up so I can show them. I just wanted to show them essentially kind of what you would put it up. I'd put the phone there. You'd still hear both the sounds, the noise, and the scan itself. Madeline, will you mute your microphone for me? That is really strange.
I was muted. Did it help? It didn't help because I could hear it.
Yeah, I don't think that helped.
Dr. Peavy, you have someone called Arvana that's on. I'm not sure I'm reading the name correctly, but they're on 3 times. It might have been someone trying to get on. So that may be giving you some feedback.
How do I fix that?
On your control panel, are you able to mute us all out?
It gives, yeah, except it's not muting. When I push it, it doesn't do anything.
Okay. Whoever is listed as Arvana might
Mute.
mute.
Arvina.
Arvina.
Yeah, I can't get on for this screen.
Arvina is in 3 different screens.
You need to get out
I
of
don't
2
know.
other screens. You need to exit out of 2 of them.
I'm trying.
It's not letting me do anything. Ooh. And Arvina, can you come out? Can you exit out and come back in for me?
I'm trying to do that. Trying to do that. I'm having a hard time with someone.
I think hopefully she can get back in. Okay. There's no more echo though. That was definitely it. Okay. Sorry about that. Hopefully she is able to get in. Okay. So I'm going to start the screen share again.
No, I'm having a hard time. I'll just.
I'm recording it as well, and I can send it to you.
Okay, that'll be better because
I'm so sorry. Okay. Okay. I will get that information to her so that she can see all that. So this is a inner voice report. Okay. This essentially based off the inflections in my voice are telling me where I am out of balance, where my emotions are taking me and where I'm out of whack, essentially. So it picks the top 4 emotions that we're going through at that moment, and it gives us corresponding frequencies that is inlaid within awesome music that will relax you to just make it everything super peaceful. But essentially it tells you everything about those emotions that you're going through. So here, angry versus accepting of change. That was one of my top emotions at the time that I did this. They talk about the corresponding notes that go with it. They talk about potential causes of why you could be, that emotion could be coming to the surface. Is it something that are you drinking too much alcohol? Was I drinking too much alcohol? Was I not, drinking that in moderation? Was I not eating enough fibrous fruits and vegetables? It could be something that simple, right? Or it could be something where there's more of a deep emotional piece that corresponds to that, that we can use this as a guide essentially to kind of attack it from all angles, right? We've got the food component, we've got the emotional component, we've got the inner voice musical piece component, and all of it really can help us with this particular emotion that we're having difficulties with. So you can see all of these. Gives you colors that you can wear. A supportive color, magenta would be good. It helps with grounding, all of just amazing vitamins that you can take, vitamin K for helping to not be so self-critical, all of those different things. So does anyone have any questions about this? This is truly probably the biggest piece to this energy device, because I think it's the most impactful. Our emotions really dictate everything about our lives. They dictate our health. They dictate our tomorrow, what it's going to look like. They determine our health, whether or not we're going to present with disease or whether we're going to be able to surpass that based off of our frequency, right? So this I have seen when people start doing it once or twice a day, it literally can and does turn people's mood around. It can help. I mean, I had someone tell me, I didn't even know that I felt weird one day. All of a sudden, I'd been doing this for, I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks, and I felt weird. And I realized it was because I felt joy for the first time in a long time. And I didn't even know what that felt like. It was that weird for me. And that was just such a testament to that inner voice piece that, playing that and not even realizing the impact, and all of a sudden she's feeling emotions like that she hasn't felt for such a long time. So it really, really is amazing. And you can do this if you buy the equipment. Of course, you can do it yourself and scan every day. If you do sessions, then you can, what I do is I send it home with people, and then they play that for, a couple times a day for a couple weeks, and then we get a new one. There's all kinds of different options that you can do with this. So any questions?
I was just curious, this is Valerie, about the glasses that they show. Because I lay on the bed with my eyes closed, does that affect, would it be better if I had the glasses and kept my eyes open and looked through the glasses while I'm listening to the tones?
Well, you can use the glasses throughout the day. Like you can just wear them and like in the house, or as long as they're not distracting you from driving or seeing or whatever you're doing, you can wear the glasses. You don't have to necessarily just use them when you're listening to these. But your imagination as well, if you have the glasses on and your intention is that you're receiving the frequency of the color of the glasses, you will also receive that even if your eyes are closed.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else?
Dr. Peavy, one of the things that comes up sometimes for people is they'll say, what if I disguise my voice? And we've had several people even try to speak their recording, their 10 seconds, through a fan that's going. And they've even had some people try to talk like Darth Vader or something else. And yet it still was specifically responsive to them. And so I just thought that was pretty fabulous, that the foundational work and research that went into this and the way this particular program is designed, it will literally stay specific to that person's recording. I just think that's fabulous.
That is actually, I hadn't heard that, to be honest. So that's really cool to hear. The tests have been done, because I've wondered that. I had a guy give it to me with a BiPAP machine covering him. And of course you have the air breathing, and he was like, I'm sorry, it's not very good. And I was just like, I think it'll be great. This works. Yeah. So, and it was
really interesting. The more that you interact with the actual programming and the device for inner voice and the different programs that you'll have access to with your clients, or when you have invested in one, it becomes very responsive to the specific individual that's pulled up. I just think that's really good to know.
Yeah, no, it very much does. Well, and it's also telling. So I did a scan. Well, we talk about the importance of being able to hear, listen, and that's not always possible, right? So I've been working on a guy that's in the ICU, and his phone broke, of course, and there's no phone access for him in the ICU. He's all by himself. And so I haven't been able to speak to him, and I haven't been able to do an inner voice, but I can at least do a lot of other frequencies. I have a picture of him. I have all his vitals, and you can definitely connect and still send those frequencies to him energetically. It's not, again, as effective probably because he's not feeling it as much, but certainly it definitely helps. And I have seen it make a huge difference for a lot of people. It's actually really cool. But I had scanned him and was speaking with his daughter, and a couple of things, of course, popped up in terms of red flags, or not red flags, but areas to look at. And I was like, I think she said, yeah, my dad's low on iron. I was like, oh yeah, well that showed up in the scan. And she said something, she goes, and I heard there's a study about glutathione and it being low and that relating to disease severity. And I was like, well, yes. And his glutathione level was low as well. I said, can you go talk to his doctor? Who she said was really willing to, like, do any vitamins or supplements if they, as long as it wasn't going to cause harm. And so she's able to use the scan to take and say, hey, this is kind of what's popping up here. Can we at least supply him with this? This is just a supplement that we could do, so it's been really great. Let me show you how those work really quick. So there's two different major scans. One's called vitals and one's called comprehensive. The vitals is like a blood draw. So it's like you're looking at your major immune system, your CBC, your white blood cells, platelets. It's looking at your liver function, kidney function, etc. And it's awesome what it can do. So a 5, when you're looking at these, a 5 is smack dab in the middle, like perfectly balanced, okay? You start getting towards 2s, 9s, 10s, or I think it goes up to 9s, 8 and 9s. 1s and 2s, those are kind of swinging too far one way or the other direction. But essentially, here, so this, I didn't calibrate this. This was my last scan from before, not after calibration, which normally what you see is after calibration. So this is probably holidays. See all those ones? I'm ashamed to admit. Anyways, but you see here, I am really dehydrated. I need some water on board. But you can kind of see, things are off a little bit. Basophils, just some basics with the immune system, right? You stress the immune system, you're not eating as well, you're more dairy, for me, more gluten, there's more digestion stuff. And I tend to, find some abnormalities in those areas. It checks all your chakras. So here when I scanned last week, I was beautiful, everything right in point. Now my chakras are off a little bit as well. So, they, after calibration, typically what you see is it helps to push them back towards the 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, etc. Looks at your liver. I mean, really everything. This is all of your stomach function, gastrointestinal functions, all of your digestive enzymes. I can't tell you how many people I've found their stomach acid to be abnormal, and just simply by having them use celery juice, they've been able to correct that. So all those things have definitely come up and have been found with these scans. It's really awesome. Any questions about this particular? I know I'm kind of flying through here. I don't know how much you guys can see on your screen, so
Dr. Peavy, because I'm on a phone, I'm able to enlarge what you're sharing, and it's very accessible. So thank you.
Yeah, awesome, cool. Okay, good.
So as a general rule, 5, is that the ideal number on these lists that we were looking at?
Mm-hmm. Yep. 5 is the average. Yeah, that's what the balance that we're looking for. So it looks at all your arteries. I mean, it tells you how far you are from the ideal. This is not the vitals on now what's called the comprehensive. So that looks at your arteries, all of your tissues, your bones, tendons, ligaments, etc. I mean, there's the DNA markers, chromosomes. I mean, it really just looks at all of it. It's pretty amazing. I mean, in the scan itself, you can do all of it within 20 minutes. I mean, if someone hasn't been scanned the first time, I've found that sometimes it can take 5-6 minutes to kind of go through the person, but after that, it's usually much quicker. And really is pretty incredible. I've had someone come in too with their thyroid levels. They had gotten this scan and then went and got their thyroid levels right afterwards. And we were able to compare those as well. And they were spot on, absolutely spot on. So, questions?
What's been your most remarkable experience using this device on somebody?
Well, I feel like it helped me get someone out of the hospital. I mean, I did the combination. I did both my own energy work. I mean, I call it Reiki, but it's whatever comes through me. I did that and I used the scan. So I had them do the inner voice. I sent it to them. I was doing both vitals and comprehensive once a day. I was sending frequencies that I was having them listen to, like COVID frequencies. I mean, he was told he was gonna die, that there was no way he was gonna make it.
And he made it.
He made it. Yeah, he was sent home 2 days later. I still have a guy that I'm working on, but he was told he was going to be intubated a week and a half ago. A week ago, and he is not intubated. He is slowly improving, and he has underlying lung disease. Like, he's been a pack-a-day smoker for like 40 years. So he's kind of battling against, his own bad habit, unfortunately, but he is holding his own and he's not worsening. And he's slowly improving. He's just really weak, and it's going to take him a while. So, but I mean, that's where I'm seeing the most progress. I've seen people's moods within a couple, 2 or 3 weeks turn around. I had a girl that I saw, honestly, 6 weeks ago, and sent her home with her inner voice and checked in like 5 or 6 days ago, or 5 or 6 days later, and she was like, oh my gosh, my anxiety is so much better. Every time I feel anxious, I listen to it and it all goes away. So those are really very positive and frequent stories, very frequent. So yeah, it's been great.
This AO device, do you know if it could help cure tinnitus? Or do we have any studies on that?
I mean, as far as actual studies on this device with that particularly, I don't think there's any studies that directly correlate with that. But, I mean, so there's a variety of reasons why our frequencies get off, right? Sometimes it's one thing, sometimes it's a combination of a bunch of different things that we have to kind of look at. So do I think it will help? I definitely think it will help. Do I think that will completely cure or get rid of? I don't know. I think we'd probably need to look at a lot of comprehensively, right? What's going on with the diet? What's going on with all of those things? And I think that is a better way to treat it. But certainly it will help for sure, as well as a number of other things. It will help. And I think what it does more than anything is if you can get yourself into a pretty, how do I explain this? if you can get yourself into a good frequency or augment with all the environmental stuff, what we're doing, all the things we're doing, then it's just going to exponentially be that much more powerful.
Okay.
So this AO product and this inner voice product are two entirely separate products. Those are two
No.
entirely separate devices.
Same one?
Nope, it's all the same.
It's all the same.
I
It's a
think
different
the
feature
new,
of the same.
yes, and I think the new tagline, correct me if I'm wrong, is one price, one everything, one.
So one of the things that'll help you keep that in balance is one device, one price for your monthly subscription. It originally came out that there were different levels for kind of, you would get this much access for a basic, then you had an advanced, then you had a professional level for like people working with clients and within a clinic. And they realized that individuals were being empowered to be able to utilize the full spectrum of what was loaded into the programs and into the device. And that is what is accessible to everyone. And so it becomes even more powerful than the $40,000 unit, then that this is now the mobile accessible. And it becomes more powerful in this way. You have access to it on a daily basis, and it is something that you can integrate into your lifestyle. And so that's really a useful, empowering tool for every type of individual, in addition to practitioners.
But it gives you access, Bill, to all of the programs. Inner Voice
The
is part
entire
of the AO
everything.
scan. Yeah, it's
Yep.
not separate.
No.
This is something that one rents or purchases, or how does that work?
Yeah, so a variety of different things. Of course, I have a device, as a practitioner, I use it with a lot of my work. I augment, like I was saying, energy work and pendulum. I ask a lot of questions and, kind of some functional medicine, try to get to the root cause of what's going on, because we can keep correcting the frequency. But again, if the underlying cause isn't removed, we're just going to keep insulting or keep causing the problem, probably, right? So that's one option in terms of use of ways to do it. But then the downside to that is it's less opportunity or less time to use the device itself. The inner voice you can do every single day, twice a day if you felt like you needed it, which I actually recommend, especially if you're really working on mood or if there's anxiety or anything like that going on. So you can certainly do that every day yourself. With me, we do a session, I send it with you for a couple of weeks. So it's the one you did 2 weeks ago that you're still using today, right? That's not necessarily where you are emotionally right now. So buying the device or having the device does give you that opportunity to do that as well. And like Marion was saying, you don't just have it for you also have it for your family members. You literally can put in any number of people into the device. It's unlimited as far as I know. And you can use it at your leisure. Certainly would caution not to overuse, especially the vitals and the comprehensive, but definitely for so many people, especially if they have a chronic condition, a lot of times doing something more frequently for a chronic condition, as well as fixing any underlying causes, is going to get you to where you want to go a lot faster.
Dr. Peavy, another thing that I would strongly suggest is there are frequencies that are already programmed into the device and are accessible as you're using them. So you can pick and choose and create an actual, some people call them a playlist. And so I have a friend that literally, she has a friend that lives in Kansas, and she's a single mom, and she's helping some people out with their child who's a toddler and is under a lot of stress and duress because there's some in, some really challenging circumstances for the family. And she puts together a list of very uplifting, inspiring frequencies like peace and calming and love and joy. And she puts that and puts the individual's client picture in and their information. And then she broadcasts that long distance, just like I can call Dr. Peavy. And when I call the specific number for her, then she answers her phone. Well, the same happens when you put in your client information or your family member or your loved one. And then that specifically, that is their bioelectric, and I'm using those terms broadly, but it is their energetic frequency or signature. And so it goes to her, and she has had that individual just call her and bless her. She'll say, the toddler was a lot calmer today, or I was able to get a better perspective and I feel hopeful. And all she had done was send those frequencies for like a 20 minutes time period. And when you have access to it yourself, whether you're using the Inner Voice program or the other programs that you can that are all integrated into the one device, then you can actually uplift and or set, maybe even for your focus would be focus and concentration. I have to tell you, I actually was going through getting our house ready for all of our kids, some from California, some from here in Utah, and they literally were gathering. We had one day for our 7 grandchildren and the whole family to be together. So I put in focus and concentration, and I think I put in something about finishing tasks, and literally I accomplished what I needed to on
Yes.
time. So
Yes.
there you go.
No, they're great. So they have frequencies like abundance, success, and financial whatever. And you can listen to it for a couple minutes, every hour if you wanted to. Maybe just feel like you need to get in alignment with that or whatever it is that you're looking for. They have, I had a gal who I see, and she called me a few days ago and she's like, I think I have a, conjunctivitis. And can you call me in a script? And I am like, no, because most of them are viral. So I don't want to do that, but I will send you a frequency. So I sent her a conjunctivitis frequency. And, I just talked to her today and she was like, yeah, like the next day it started clearing up. It was awesome. So things like that are amazing that you can put in for, there's even urinary frequency. Maybe you're having some bladder infection symptoms, or the people I'm working on in the hospital that I can't necessarily just talk to and do a lot with, I was able to take medication and imprint the frequency and record that and send it to this person who can then take it and put his water on that. It's a light frequency. It doesn't make any sound, but he can put his water and imprint his water with the medication frequency that he can't get in the hospital. So at least he can hopefully still have a benefit from that. So this device is super cool. There's just so many things that you can do. I mean, every morning there's like you can go in and it has chakra clearings. You just can play it and cleanse your aura and cleanse the chakras, so that you can start the day without being bogged down in whatever we decide to attach to overnight, which, happens. It just kind of helps get all of that cleared out so we can think more clearly, we can be more focused, we can do all those things.
When you sent the
Can
water,
sometimes also start to sound very involved in how can I fit this all in a single day? And they have designed and created what's called a quick scan. And it literally assists to quickly go in and identify and do the tones that you need and the vibratory or vibrations and frequencies that you receive, literally going through by connecting on the structural bones right here on your head, then literally that can go through your whole system, and that can be a very quick process that you can integrate into your daily practice. And there's an AM one and a PM one. And so you can, and then periodically you do the more extensive and detailed, comprehensive and vitals that Dr. Peavy was sharing about, because those will be, you're looking at the long term, and you're also looking at where, you know, when you're working with Dr. Peavy's, for example, as a practitioner, that you can come up with some strategies. And so there's different layers and levels, and they even have programs that you can work with your pets. So you've got a lot of selections that you can pick and choose from and create what you're drawn to work with, or what you start getting results on. And that's one of the things I really appreciate, Dr. Peavy.
Yeah, I agree. And your plants, you can work with your plants if you wanted to as well.
Wow.
So.
Hmm.
Any other questions?
Yes.
What is the one price?
The phone, this device here, I believe, is like just shy of 500.
Mhm.
The iPad is like 900 something.
And those aren't an iPad, they are a pad. They are like, you can, you know, be mobile with them. You could also put this device, I mean, the app onto a tablet, and but you have to have enough operating system, because there's a tremendous amount that goes on with this. So the device that Dr. Peavy is showing you is actually $495, and it literally has warranty for a year, and it's got all the operating system that you need for the AO scan program to function and work with. And it's
But you could
calibrated
also
specific.
download it as an app onto your regular Android phone.
You could, and the challenges with that, the device that Dr. Peavy is showing you, is that it's calibrated, and it also has additional EMF frequency protection in it, that it's actually manufactured, that phone is to their specs and their criteria. You can put the app specifically on any device that's mobile. It needs to be 2 years or newer. It's usually that level of operating system, and you've got to have at least 65 gigabyte operating system on it. For example, I have never had my AO scan on my regular telephone, my mobile phone, because I don't want notifications or anything coming through when I'm running a scan with someone specifically. I would not want that process interrupted. So I have a dedicated device. If you have access to other technology that you want to put it on, and you can meet those operating system criteria, absolutely, you can do that. You do need to have your monthly subscription for it to function. It is month to month, and that's the $149 a month. And what we really appreciate about that is when it is their device that they have had specifically designed, they have tech support. If you're using your own device, that will probably function fine. They can help you a little bit, but they may not be able to get as deep into it with you, as they are specifically trained. The tech support through the company is Solex or AO Scan, the device, then their tech support will be able to go in as deep as you need. So Dr. Peavy, does that assist a little bit to get those criteria?
Yeah, oh yeah, you answered that very well. It's perfect.
Yes, thank
And
you.
happy to answer any other questions that you might come up with too.
Yeah.
Somebody utilize this by not having a subscription, but just how much do they charge to do this over the phone?
What do what now? What was your question,
Kathy
Kathy?
was asking if, rather than getting the monthly subscription and us doing it ourselves, if we were to do it as a session with you, or some other practitioner, how would that work?
Yeah, so I mean, you can do it with any practitioner. I would recommend a practitioner, someone who has knowledge, you know, medical knowledge, or they have modality training, you know, rapid eye, those kind. They have knowledge in that, versus just going to the neighbor. That's just my personal preference, but yeah, there are practitioners, you guys, everywhere, that could absolutely do these. I think more people are of course purchasing them for their practices. I know physicians, both physicians as well as nurse practitioners and other, you know, even physicians assistants and stuff like that, that are starting to look into these types of things. So it's definitely opening up. As far as a list, I know, I mean, I know I don't have an actual list. I think I asked you, Marion, about that, if there was, because someone had asked me about someone in New York, and I just didn't know how to find
We can,
someone, because some people
one of
like
the
do it in
challenges that you
person.
face, right? One of the challenges that you face is, and a really happy coincidence is, you can work long distance. So if you're wanting to meet with a practitioner in person, then you may want to find someone locally that you can work with. One of the major turnarounds of a person, here's the pros and cons that I've come across in my work with it, even with clients and with individuals. I have clients that will come and do energy work with me, or and I'm trained in rapid eye and Reiki and several other Qigong and several other practices, or for, you know, modalities. But one of the things that they start to realize is, oh, if I'm paying anywhere from $75 to $80 a session with you, to 150, pretty soon $149 a month becomes pretty attractive to be able to do work with a whole family, or with a husband, wife, or with extended, you know, like I've had several people that they have their own device and they do family. They live in Washington, Seattle area. They do a work with a sister in Arizona and a sister here in Utah, in up northern Utah. And literally one of the things they started realizing is that they could combine and do the $149 a month and work with their pets, their family members, and have access all the time. So it's really,
The difference is whether or not
yeah.
you want to do it with someone. Like I was, you know, like for me, if you come do sessions with me, I'm also doing, I have the medical aspect, I have the functional medicine. I'm looking for all the underlying stuff as well. I'm not just running the scans. Here you go. And bringing all the other into it as well. So it's really to look at what you're looking for in terms of time, with spending time with someone else, making those appointments, or, you know, doing it yourself, as Marion said, like as a family and with your family.
And as Dr. Peavy is saying, even if you have your own device, and I'll refer to Kim here, she has her own device, but I'm aware that she would work with the practitioners, specifically such as Dr. Peavy. I would work with Dr. Peavy. If there's something that I'm wanting to dig a bit deeper into, and I'm looking at those balanced fours, fives, and sixes, and I've got things that are showing up more toward the 9, like it's hyperactive, or it's more suppressed down toward the 1s. It's a little bit more, the system's kind of like getting more and more suppressed. Then I would even long distance talk with Dr. Peavy and say, okay, in this system of the body, this is what I'm experiencing. And then what I like about her style is she works at the whole lifestyle. So, but I would feel just as comfortable going to a general practitioner and saying, I'm noticing that I'm running really dehydrated, or I'm running this, or my iron's coming up low. what are some of the recommendations that you would have? And they may not look at whole lifestyle, but they would look at specific recommendations that they would give also. And Kim may have some things that she wants to add to that. I wasn't trying to put you on the spot, Kim, but I wanted to make sure that you can be empowered with your own device, you can, or access, you can work with the practitioner, whether you have your own subscription and access on a monthly basis, or you work only with a practitioner. So Dr. Peavy, that may assist you a little bit.
Is there a link to or a website where we could find this company if we wanted to subscribe?
Oh, yes. Yep, absolutely. I'll send all the information in an email. So I'm going to send out this recording to you guys in case you want to share it with people, or if you wanted to go back and watch it, or if, you know, anything like that. And then I'll send that the website information as well. Yeah.
Thank you very
That's good.
much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And
So-
also Dr. Peavy will probably include some resources that you can go and look at, some conversations and some training that they have that's accessible. And those are recorded trainings that you can dig a bit deeper also. And you'll probably find a lot of your questions answered there.
That would be awesome. Thank you so much, Marion.
Are most of you practitioners on here?
I'm a massage therapist.
Oh, that's a practitioner of sorts. Yep, yep.
Yeah. Mhm.
Kim's a rapid eye tech, and then Kelly is a physician. She's a family doc.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so-
I was gonna ask too, as a practitioner, Elisa, do you think the one you got, the phone size one, is enough for working with patients, or would the tablet be more beneficial? What do you think?
You know, I haven't played with the tablet one at all, but I can tell you that if it continues to work like it's been working, the
Mhm.
phone one is great. I mean, it's very easy to package and take with you. The only thing the headphones in this one, I don't know if it's all of them. Sometimes you have to really just hold it in there if you're going to have the bone or the conducting headphones on. That's kind of annoying, but really it works, I think, just as good. I don't know,
Dr.
Marion, maybe you
Peavy,
can talk.
Can I address a little bit on that? With
Yeah.
your
Sure.
particular device, just because that came up, please let us check on that one for you. There was series of models that were having trouble with their jacks. And so we will make
Ah.
certain that that is secure. That should not ever be an issue for you. And
Oh,
that
yeah.
was something that would get replaced or taken care of.
Oh,
Absolutely.
sweet. Yeah, it's been
And
since the very
so-
beginning. We've just dealt with it.
Oh, bless your heart. You didn't need to do that. The other thing to be aware of versus the tablet versus the mobile device. I like the ease of movement and the accessibility of the mobile especially when I'm traveling or things like that. But there are some benefits to the tablet, especially when I'm working with clients or with individuals. It's nice to show it on a larger screen. So that really is, you may find that I have actually had some people get the larger tablet that was first available that was very rugged. They called it a rugged tablet, and it was rather heavy. It was surprisingly heavy for them. And then they resold that because they wanted a lighter weight version. So a lot of it just depends on how you're showing, say if you're working with clients, how you're working with them directly. If they can see it on the device, but you also may be showing their report to them on a larger screen, on a computer screen. You've opened up the report on a larger, screen in your office, or that they're doing it personally and you're
Yeah.
connecting by Zoom type of thing.
Yeah, I'm sending
have
it to
a-
their email. And so they're
Right,
opening
right.
it up on their email, right? And then we're looking through it together. So I
Got
haven't
it. Yeah.
had to deal with it being small, but you're right. If I had to try and show that to them, like this,
Yeah.
that would be very tedious. And yeah.
And I'm glad that you brought up about the screens really quick. The other thing is on personal information. once that client's information is in, it is specifically unique to each individual. So that's more of a general reassurance that that goes into a specific cloud access that is linked to the email they're using with you. No one else has access unless they share it. So you or anyone as a practitioner that they have permission between you both to be working with it, then absolutely. But otherwise, sometimes people will be concerned, will anyone see my weight? Or will anyone see this or that? It truly is specifically unique for you in your dedicated cloud that's linked through the email that you use, even if you set up a specifically unique email that you're using. One other quick thing on the practitioners. I have a surgical, it's actually a surgeon in California, and she has told me, she said, I don't think yet that my colleagues would be open to this in the surgical arena. But she goes, for what it does for myself, my stamina, my ability to cope with and they have a bit of a young family too. She goes, I would not be without it. It has just been a night and day difference for them. So I'm just putting that out there. It really meant a lot to me to know that.
Is this the one who got it for her son, her 8-year-old initially?
No, this was a different one.
Okay.
Yeah, very interesting.
Cool.
But yeah, I would like to know that too. I'll have to double check.
Yeah, I haven't reached, I should reach out to her. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be awesome to hear.
Yeah. Any other questions? No. Okay. Well, I will send you again all this information. Marion has a link, she said, to some other videos that can show how to use the device. I'll send this to you as well as the link. If you have, any questions, please don't hesitate to respond to that email that I send you. I usually within about 24 hours, I'm pretty quick to get back. Sometimes a weekend, it might be longer, but usually pretty quick. And I'm happy to help however, with whatever questions that you have. And if I don't have the answer, I will go to someone who hopefully can provide the answer. So.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It was good to see everyone. You're so welcome. Have a great evening and a wonderful new year.
Okay, same
You
to
too.
you. Thank
Happy
you.
New
Bye-bye.
Year.
Bye, everybody.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.